Olectra Greentech came out with the Q3 numbers day before. Revenues were up 33%, margins expanded marginally, and despite finance costs being up, the net profit was up about 77% from 15 crores to 27 crores. The conversation with the management is not as much just about the quarter, but about the opportunity size that lies ahead. Mr. Venkateshwara Pradeep, he's Chairman and Managing Director of Olectra, joins us right now on the show. Mr. Pradeep, good having you. Thanks for taking the time out. Pleased with the quarter, or would you have hoped for more?
Yes, I am okay with the quarter as well as for the others also, other details also, I'm okay.
Okay. Tell us what went right. I mean, this 33% uptick in revenue. Now, you've been on record with the number of orders in the pipeline, a few orders that you won, capacities coming on stream. Is 33% about the right run rate that you would have expected at the end of Q2 for Q3, or would you have hoped for more?
As far as Q3 is concerned, let me talk about Olectra Greentech. If convenient to you, I would like to explain briefly about the strength of the Olectra. As you know very well that Olectra is one of the largest electric vehicle manufacturing companies in India. We have an order book of 8,000 plus as of today, 8,000 buses plus as of today. And probably you may be knowing that with the single charge range, highest number of kilometers can be operated by Olectra's products. Number 4, past 7 years we are into this business with a strong portfolio of various models. And also, I'm proud to say that we have done 20 crore plus kilometers on Indian roads. And also, we are working on various new models which suits to the Indian requirements. And we are developing those products. Very soon we will be coming up with those products. Apart from that, also, I would like to mention here that Olectra has developed electric tipper, which is the first kind of its model in India. And we are the first electric tipper manufacturer. And our tippers, almost 150 numbers are working in various infra projects across the country. So this is the brief about Olectra Greentech. As far as your question is concerned, Niraj, in Q3, definitely we have expected these kind of numbers. And as far as Q4 is concerned, we are planning to keep the same EBITDA levels. And as we have done about 865 crores top line, and we want to add another, in the same pace we want to continue the production, and even the EBITDA also we want to be at the same level for the year FY24.
Mr. Pradeep, great to know about what you've done thus far. I would love to understand about what's up next. You've done an X amount. I heard you say that you would probably look to emulate the EBITDA numbers in Q4, which is good to know. What about the kind of delivery that you've done or deliveries that you've done thus far? What is to be anticipated in Q4? And then I'll get on to the capacity expansion and targets for the years ahead.
Yeah, Niraj, as far as Q3 is concerned, we have delivered 178 numbers. Both buses and tippers put together, we have delivered 178 numbers. Even in Q4, we want to plan the same numbers that we have done in Q3.
Okay. This is interesting. So I'm just trying to piece together this. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Pradeep, but you're working towards this new greenfield facility, which probably has an annual capacity of 5,000 vehicles operational by Q4. So your capacities are now in size. The order book already at 8,200 buses, and you're probably bagging more orders in times to come. How does the execution ramp up happen, let's say FY25 and beyond? Give us some idea about that.
Yeah, very good question, Niraj. So as far as the new facility is concerned, I would like to explain you about the capacity expansion. We have acquired 150 acres of land nearby the Hyderabad airport, wherein we are building a world-class manufacturing facility, which we have started 8 months back. And very soon, probably in the month of Feb, we are going to start using the facility partially, and we want to start the production in that partially made ready facility, wherein the next quarter numbers shall get delivered. As far as the other part of your question, for the numbers which are required to be delivered in the year FY25, we are planning to have 2,500 numbers in next year ending FY25.
Wow. Mr. Pradeep, please excuse me if my math is a bit awry, but assuming that you mentioned 178, I'm rounding it off to 200, and therefore I'm coming to a number of, let's say, hypothetically about 800 to max 1,000 buses that you probably have done in FY24. You were talking about a number of 2,500 buses or vehicles in FY25. That means you are nearly targeting 150% growth, or more than 2.5 times growth in FY25 or FY24 as things stand.
FY25, what the numbers I'm talking is FY25.
Yes.
Yes, definitely it is 2,500 numbers which we are going to deliver in our new facility which is being built.
Wow. Okay. So how does typically in this business, because it's a new business, so please humor me and explain to me, how do the economies of scale work out when your numbers move up from whatever 800, 900 or 1,000 as they may have been in FY24 to maybe 2,500 in FY25 to whatever number comes up, let's say in FY26 or 27, how do economies of scale benefit you to margins, for return ratios and for cash flows as well, Mr. Pradeep?
Yeah, Niraj, the economics, the way how it works out is more than the organization, it should benefit to the public to whom we are going to provide the services. See, more the numbers we produce, definitely the cost would definitely be less. So the amount of production that we increase, the cost per vehicle shall also come down, with which the end customer would definitely get benefited, and our product, as we envisaged, would definitely be become nearby to the diesel vehicles in coming 3-4 years time. So that's the aim. What we have planned, and what we have aimed is to reach out to those numbers. And as you rightly mentioned, the more the numbers, definitely it is the economics is going to have a diagonally different direction.
Great. Mr. Pradeep, would it be safe to assume by what you just said that with falling costs, but you mentioned that you want to bring the cost of the vehicles down, that you would not necessarily look to expand on the margins, but for the next couple of years, the idea would be to expand volumes, gain market share, and therefore you might be fine with maintaining the margins as they are right now as opposed to margin expansion?
Correct. Probably we want to maintain EBITDA of 12.5%, where today's EBITDA levels are 16.5. So we want to maintain 12.5% EBITDA levels in coming years.
Got it. Okay. And the market size, as we figure out, and maybe coming in from what you might have mentioned in some releases as well, that the overall market in the next 3 to 4 years might grow to maybe 40,000 buses or thereabouts. I would love to understand, how do you think about this opportunity? Because from 1,000 buses or less than 1,000 as the case may be in FY24 to 2,500 in FY25, but you are amongst the most prominent names in this segment. What kind of market share that you anticipate you would have by virtue of being the first mover, having the first mover advantage of sorts as well, let's say 3-4 years out? Is there a game plan that you have set out for yourself and the company for the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, a very good question from your side. So as of today, our market share is 34%. And we want to maintain the same percentage of share even in coming 2-3 years time. As the number keeps growing, probably the next year it would be something like 35,000 would be the numbers which are going to get announced by the government. You may be knowing that majority of these buses are being provided to the STUs rather than the private business. These buses are being provided to the STUs. So majority buses are provided through tenders. We shall have to bid for the tenders which are being floated by the various STUs, and wherever we are L1, we will be getting those orders. So now we want to answer your question, we want to maintain the same 34% market share even in the coming 2 years' time.
Wow. Well, that's a stiff number because if the market indies goes up to, let's say, forget 40,000, but even if 30,000, then we are actually talking of you maybe manufacturing an annual number of 10,000 buses from the 2,500 buses that you're talking about in FY25. So one, is my math correct? And two, would you have enough capacity in the next 3-4 years' time to be able to do that kind of manufacturing?
Yes. Here I would like to add that the facility that's being built, today its capacity is 5,000 and the ultimate capacity of the plant is 10,000 units per annum, with which definitely we will be able to catch up the order book.
Okay. My last two questions, Mr. Pradeep. One is just the hygiene question. So am I getting it correct that you've done somewhere around, or in FY24 you will do somewhere around 800 to 1,000 buses? Is that number correct?
Around 800 is the right.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. My last question, Mr. Pradeep, and we'd love to talk to you for the year ahead at the end of Q4. So we will talk to you in detail then, but I understand you have paucity of time. So I have one last question. Based on the model that you have, are cash flows a hindrance, Mr. Pradeep, or do you reckon that because the product is such a fast moving and an important one, because everybody wants to go green, that cash flows are not an issue?
Cash flows are not an issue. Being it is go green, as you rightly mentioned, so cash flows should not be an issue, and the future is for the electric mobility.
Most certainly. So what's the working capital cycle like, sir? I'll wrap up this interview with this question. And do you expect it to contract further, or would you maintain, or do you believe it will get maintained at these levels?
At these levels, probably there may be some increase in our working capital, but we are fine with the working capitals, whatever today we have.
Okay. Okay. Fair call. You won't need any funds for executing the orders, right? Because the facility is coming on stream, I presume. Would there be any need for raising any equity-linked capital, Mr. Pradeep, in the near term?
Yes, definitely. There are some discussions which are being done internally. Unless we seek board approval, probably I may not be able to communicate to the market.
Got it.
That's the stage as of now.
Understandable. We will talk about FY24 in some more detail at the end of the next quarter when you will be looking back at the full year and talking about the year ahead. But it's fantastic talking to you, Mr. Pradeep. All the best with the expansion plans and the deliveries. And thank you so much for talking to us at NDTV Profit.
Thank you. Thank you, Niraj. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your call. Thank you very much.
No. The pleasure was ours, and viewers, thanks for tuning in.